Hey guys, this is going to be the first video out of my university advice videos. So if you are new to this, I'm basically a student like you, but I applied to university last year for 2012 entry, and I'm just making these videos to help those deciding whether to go to university and how about they can get around to applying and other details for university. So in this first video I'm just going to be talking about whether you should go to university and what courses, deciding what course you want to take and deciding what university you want to go to. And not everyone goes to university, A lot of people do nowadays because, it's really competitive to get a career, and if a lot of people have a degree applying for the same jobs as you, it might put you at a disadvantage not to have a degree. So that is one reason why people go to university, just to get the extra qualification to make sure that you're, competing on the same level with other people in your industry that you want to get into. Second reason is for the experience. A lot of people really want to have the university experience and make lifelong friends there, because that's where a lot of people, do meet their lifelong friends at uni, and they have a really fun time. You always get that impression. And thirdly, to get to university, everyone has their own reasons, but just because other people go to uni, you don't have to. If you feel like you don't have an idea of exactly what you want to do and you don't know if you should go to uni, definitely research about it, because other people may not go to university. There's other options. You can always apply for internships and work experience instead, or get a job straight after school instead of going to higher education. Or you can take a gap year before you go to university to give you more time to think about it. So you don't have to go straight away this year. If other people are, and loads of other people, all of your friends are, it doesn't mean that you have to. University is really expensive, and it's a really big decision because you're committing yourself to at least 3 years of studying a specific subject, which you might not like if you don't know exactly. So that's the first part. But if you do know that you do want to go to university, then first of all you have to know what course you want to do. And I know some people will know exactly the course they want to do. They knew it a few years ago, maybe when they're doing the GCSEs, they knew, I'm going to do this. And that's great. I really look up to people who did that. That wasn't the same for me. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So what you have to do if you don't know exactly is do a lot of research. And that includes going through UCAS, looking at all the degrees available. It includes sort of looking around, seeing what you're interested in, sort of figuring out what type of future you want and how you want to go about doing it. Because every degree is different, but just because you choose a particular degree, it doesn't mean that you have to go into that industry, So if you do a law degree, it doesn't mean that you have to be a lawyer or go into a law firm. It does mean that you can go to apply for other jobs like journalism or something. It doesn't all have to be that, niche, if you know what I mean. So, don't worry about that and just look into what you think is most suitable to you and you think that you're going to excel in and really enjoy having in the future. So what I did was I went to shadowing schemes. I applied for shadowing schemes following students. Well, that was only one time. I had a shadowing scheme in Cambridge. So I shadowed a student. And for the shadowing scheme, you choose the type of person. So I chose economics first and then history, and I got the history one. So I followed a history student around, and because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So looking at it, I decided, history is nice, but I am more lenient towards economics because I think it's more broad and it can take me to more different jobs. So I chose economics. And I really enjoy economics, so it was a good decision for me. It's really hard to, choose one degree, because, you might like a lot of different things. And that's why, there's so many degrees out that you can choose. There's not just degrees for one subject, I chose a degree for economics and economic history because I wanted history as well for one of my university applications. So just look around, and you don't have to apply to the same degree at all of your universities. So don't worry about that. So once you know the course you want, you also have to do a lot of research for the university. And the best way to go about this is, I would say, people do look at league tables and things to look for the university they want to go to, because obviously they want the best education for that degree. So choose your degree first, then perhaps look at the universities that specialise in that degree, you know, that are ranked quite highly in the results of people who do that degree, you know, how well ranked they are. Look at it, and then look at their entry requirements, and also look at their degree, the course details, because all universities, even if they are the same exact course with the same code, they might have a different type of course details, you know. So for example, the course at Cambridge is very different to the course for economics at Cambridge is very different to the economics course at UCL, even though they are both L100. If you look into the actual prospectuses, you would find that the Cambridge one has like the modules they have, which are kind of like the sections of your degree. The modules, they'll have microeconomics, macroeconomics, history, social, maths, you know, it's all like that. But for UCL, I remember it's a lot more maths based. They have macro, but they have a lot of maths modules compared to the one at Cambridge. So if you're more mathsy, you might choose UCL over Cambridge. If you're more like, you like humanities more, then maybe Cambridge. They're very different. You have to see which is best suited for you. And I also want to mention that league tables aren't very representative of a university. Like, I feel really bad for being too worried about choosing the wrong university using a league table, because league tables always change, you know, every year they change, and you have to respect the fact that they change because each set of students who go to that university in that year, they're different, you know, they're not all going to be the same, and they're not all going to feel the same way that you do at the uni. So I don't think you should rely too much on league tables in your decision making for universities. The best thing to do is to visit the universities, read their prospectuses, and see, you know, what gives you the best impression. Because you don't want to regret applying to a university which is really high ranked, but, you know, the syllabus doesn't match up to you, like their course doesn't match up to what you enjoy in the subject that you're applying for. So it's really important. So, like, for example, I really wish I didn't apply to UCL because they've got a really great course and they're really highly ranked in economics. But I'm just not a very mathsy person. I don't really like maths that much. So I didn't really look into their course as much as I should have, and I didn't realise that they had so many maths modules, and it would have been better for me to apply to a different university. You know, instead of wasting applying to a university I wouldn't even accept if I got the offer. So I did get the offer, but it's just a waste of the space, you know, if you're not going to choose it. So make sure you look really carefully into the university's course details. Their entry requirements is really important, because you don't want to apply to a university with entry requirements that are out of your range. Because if you do get the offer, like if you are predicted, like let's say AAB, and you apply to a university whose entry requirements are A star AA, you got predicted those grades for a reason. And if you don't feel like you can get A star AA, you know, don't apply for it, because if you firm it and you don't get those grades, it means that you're losing out on that placement and you have to go to your insurance, which might be a good thing. But if your insurance is like too high as well, like AAA, and you don't get it, you get AAB, you have a high chance of losing your university placement altogether. So it's really important to make sure that the entry requirements of the university meet your standards. That's really important. So the universities I applied to for economics, L100, they were all A star AA entry requirements, apart from the economic history course at LSE and Southampton. So Southampton had 3 A's, and that was the only university with 3 A's. But LSE, the economics and economic history, was 2 A's and a B. And I really liked that course because it had the economics, but it had the history. And it has AAB, so I would love that for my insurance. But my personal statement had nothing to do with economic history, and I was supposed to put economic history in, but there was the, you know, confusion, would that disadvantage me for my other universities though, which are straight economics. So I had that issue, and I'll talk about that in a different video. But basically for choosing your course in your university, a lot of research goes into it. A lot of going to open days is really helpful. I remember over there I have like a stack of prospectuses I collected over different open sort of days, and from like they have events where all universities go to one place and you get to like go to different stands, so make sure you look out for those. They're really helpful if you want to ask people from the university any questions. They usually have prospectuses for you to pick up and look through yourself, and you know, it's really useful when you're going about deciding which 5 you want to pick. Another thing is, like the last thing I want to talk about is I have this book. It's called the UCAS Guide to Getting into University and College, and it's by UCAS, which is the organisation which links you with the universities you're applying to. And this is the first edition. I don't know what this means, but this was last year's. It was published last year because last year was when I applied, so this was the latest one. I'm not sure if they have a new one for 2012, but my dad bought this for me, and I must admit I didn't really use it that much, but I'm going to be using this as a guide for you, and it just talks to you about how do you choose a course, which uni or college is right for you, and then the rest is how you apply it and all the other things I'm going to be talking about. So this video is going to turn out really long. I don't know how it turned out this long, but I hope that this first step, you guys will take the time to do your research to see which university is best suited for you. You might be interested in a lot already, but you don't have to go to university if you don't want to. It's nice to look at it maybe, just to see what your options are, but make sure that you know that you don't have to go. No one's forcing you to go. You can do whatever you want. You know, you're an adult now, so you know you can make these decisions, and just make sure you have no regrets, and maybe make sure that you always have the opportunity to change what you want to do if you're not sure about what you want to do. So I'll speak to you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, then leave them as comments below. Maybe I missed stuff out in this choose your course and things, but those are the basic things. And in my next video I'm going to be talking about how you apply what you should do in your personal statement. Okay, so I'll speak to you guys later, and hope that your research goes really well. See ya!